All right, welcome to Town Council Special Meeting, December 4th, 2025, Cape Charles Civic Center. Could I get a roll call, please?
Newman present.
Holloway present.
Buckholz present.
Buda present.
Grossman present.
Ashworth present.
Let it be known we've established a quorum. If we could all please rise for a moment of silence and the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next is the public hearing. It looks like we have none. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Public comments. Getting the list now. Hang tight.
Jim Clark. No comments?
Oh, okay.
Nobody else has signed up.
And nothing online?
No.
All right, moving right along. Downtown restrooms postponed, but are we going to do anything on that with a new thing put in? All right. New business, the Harbor Boardwalk.
Can I make a comment real quick?
You certainly may.
So I gave everyone just an update where it's at, just the terms that we're talking about, but the lease agreement will not be ready until the end of the month.
Okay.
Are we still going to talk about it on the 18th?
Yeah, that's on the 18th.
That's the end of the month.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
Our
It's the middle
regular,
of the month. Don't rush December.
Yeah. All right. Okay, going on to the Harbor Boardwalk reconstruction phase.
Okay.
Phase 6,
Good evening,
7,
Mayor and Council.
8.
Yeah. Whatever. Okay, so this is an unusual one. And this one's got it all. It's got contract default. It's got a dispute between two of the remaining bidders on the project from a previous job. It's got a recommendation for finding of non-responsiveness for the low bidder, mainly because it was a terribly low bid based on history. And it's got a recommendation for contract award. So let me take you through this without regurgitating everything here. You recall in the spring, we did the first phase of the Harbor Boardwalk reconstruction. The winning bidder on that was Harmonia Contracting Company. That company subbed out the entire job to Prete Construction. Both of those companies bid on the second phase of the reconstruction. So second phase, we had 4 bidders, and the low bid was neither of those. It was another company called Carolina Marine Structures, a well-regarded company. They got on the job and they worked for 2 or 3 days doing some demolition of the decking, and then they defaulted on the contract. So we went back out to the 3 unsuccessful bidders and said, hey, take a look at the job. Some minor demolition has been done, and submit revised bids. They did, and the bid tabulation is in your package. You can see that one unsuccessful bidder bid the exact same price because there was a minor amount of demolition done. The next lowest, which was Prete, reduced his bid by about, I think, 7%.
7.4.
And the other one, the low bid, was 44% below the previous bid. So that's just impossible to do. This is a construction contract under the Virginia Code. Construction contracts are sealed bid. You award based on responsiveness. Basically, did you bid the job that was advertised, and responsibility. You have to be a responsible contractor. So that's a judgment call. And in my judgment, a 44% reduction based on demolition of about 3 days' work is not a responsible bid. We have had experience with this contractor before. In phase 1 of the reconstruction work, The contractor basically left the subcontractor on his own, didn't do any supervision, and we had a contract dispute there, which we cured with the change order. I also found out, after I wrote this brief, found out that she actually was a subcontractor to Marine Contracting Corporation on another, with another company name, the DBA name. And they showed up to the job for rehabilitation of the bulkhead in the inner harbor, and their crew didn't even have a set of plans. And they didn't even have the wherewithal to walk over to the general contractor, who you may recall has a big barge and a big huge crane sitting there, and get a set of plans. And they got into the job and didn't even know how to do the joints for the horizontal wales that our engineers had to show them how to do the joints. And then they screwed it up again. So this is, in my judgment, a company that is not responsible, and we're gonna have a heck of a time getting this work done. In your package is a kind of a long paper that walks you through how you find a contractor non-responsible. I think we have sufficient reason for that finding. So we're asking you tonight to approve that. We'll clean up that package. We have the appeal procedures in there. For your information, we'll obviously take that out, because that's up to them to figure out how to appeal it. So we're asking you to approve that tonight, and then approve award of the contract to the next lowest bidder, which is Brett Day.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the appeals piece of it? We can move ahead with the contractor you're
Right.
proposing, and if an appeal comes through, is there any opportunity to stop work there, or is there a time limit?
Only if the court finds that the decision was arbitrary or capricious.
Okay.
But the work can continue until the court decides that. And I don't think, I think the bar is pretty high to find a judgment of non-responsiveness arbitrary or capricious in this case. I think the extremely low bid stands on its own, and it's a matter of judgment.
So the subcontractor that Humana or Armana basically used the same one we want to award to that we had problems with. I mean, that's what, number 3 in the packet, the procurement thing. Additionally, Armana demonstrated poor management to the contract in first phase
Right.
of board work and awarded the contract and subcontract all the work to who we're going to award it to.
Yes, and that's what's complicated here.
So we're going to award it to someone we had a problem with already?
We had a problem with the general contractor, Harmonia. Frate did excellent work,
Okay.
but you.
Well, just the way it came across, it sounded like you were saying they're the ones that didn't reach back out to the boss. That's how I just.
Or was that a
heard it.
different subcontract?
That was
on a
different.
different contract.
Okay.
Yeah, which Harmonia was the subcontractor to Marine Contracting.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
That one.
It's complicated because.
Now I get it now.
At one point,
Okay.
they were a subcontractor, and then for one contractor, then they were the general contractor for the other contractor.
All right. And that just came across
Yeah,
like the report.
yeah, there are two different contracts.
Gotcha,
involved.
gotcha.
You had a good experience with Prete the first time when they did do work for us?
Excuse me?
With
You-
Brett,
You
yeah.
had a good experience with Prete, is that how you said?
Yes.
it? Yes, you
Yeah.
did,
Only as a subcontractor.
Okay.
They were the subcontractor, and they did excellent work.
okay.
But with this, they are going to be the contractor.
They will
They're
be
not
the
looking to
general
subcontract out again to another subcontractor.
No, I have them both fill out a questionnaire. And he's not subcontractor.
Okay.
Harmonia's response to the questionnaire is Well, maybe not, you know, it depends on how quickly you guys make a decision.
Yeah, we've already been down that road too
Tell me
many
right
times.
away, I'll have my guys do it. If not,
So based on that, really, there is no appeal process with it, because technically they didn't finish filling out our survey that you were asking for.
no, they did,
Okay,
they did. But you do have to give them an appeal process.
okay.
And there are two routes for appeal of one of these findings. One is if the locality has a alternate dispute resolution process, they can use that process. We don't. So the only other avenue is to bring suit in court.
But as long as work doesn't stop, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
And I doubt very much that would
Right.
happen, but you never.
Work will be done, exactly.
Yeah. By the time it all works out, work will be done.
Speaking of timing, like, what does this do to our overall timing on getting this complete? Because right now, it's kind of in disarray down there.
Yeah, it is. My guess is that it'll be about a month
Okay.
To start or complete.
to complete.
And
Oh,
you would
that's great.
start when?
Well, if you authorize the town manager to award the contract, we'll get the contract documents to them for signature next week. And my guess is they'll start in about 2 weeks. They have to have
Great.
materials.
End of January.
But we have plenty of time before the season. We're not up against, that kind of deadline like that.
Yeah, just
But we
Mother
do
Nature.
want to clean it up. I mean, it's a mess.
Yeah, I'd like to see it done before the season.
Yeah. Me too.
Right.
Yeah, it's a mess down there right now.
So do we need a motion on
Yes,
this?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the determination of non-responsibility and authorize town manager to proceed with the notification of written determination process according to Code of Virginia, and to authorize town manager to award the contract to Proteg Construction in the amount of $123,380 and reserve a contingency of $5,620 for additional discovery.
Second.
Is there any other discussion? Any other questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, moving on. Rail Yard and Harbor Area Master Plan Kickoff Meeting with the Berkeley.
Just to do a quick introduction, I know the council has now met individually with our consultants, but just the public knows who we have with us this evening. So this is the start of our harbor and rail yard master planning process, really to look at an area of town that's going to change substantially, and to ensure that we have prepared ourselves from a planning perspective and potentially zoning perspective for what we would like to see happen on this land that up until now has always been used for railroad purposes, but will no longer be using as such, then how we want to integrate and enhance harbor operations as well. So with that said, we have this evening Catherine Redfern, who is our project manager with the Berkeley Group, and Brooke Frink, who is, I hope I said your name right, with her as well. We also have in the audience David Denny and Liz Povar from the Rural Resilience Advisors Company. And her driver's here too, Bo. I won't introduce her. And so with that said, you have a full agenda and materials that they're going to go through, so I'm going to turn it over to Catherine.
I'll try to move this so I can advance my own slides. Hello again.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you all. Katie said this is our formal kickoff for the rail yard and harbor master plan process. It's really an opportunity for us to come together, council members, project team, and kick off the planning process and start thinking about what are the opportunities here? What can we do? What can we do to redevelop this site? Our meeting objectives will introduce the team. So we've got Berkeley Group and then technical teams supporting us in this process. We'll cover what the master plan is and what it is not, and particularly cover expectations, outcomes, the process, and in particular how the community will be involved in this process. Liz and David will go over a comparable communities analysis, or get your input onto the comparable communities analysis. You should have received a report from them in your meeting packets. And then we'll do what I hope will be a fun interactive visioning exercise. I know we've all had conversations throughout the afternoon and morning. This will be the opportunity to come together as a group, as a whole council, and really think about key themes and visions for the harbor and the Railroad Master Plan. All right, so the team, there we are. You've met a lot of us. Also with the Berkeley group on this project is Steph Mathena. She lives in Roanoke, and she would have loved to have made the 6-hour drive to visit with you all, but we thought with better use of resources, we wanted to keep her at home and supporting us there. The Berkeley group, our role in this project is as project managers, right? We're here to manage the project, to facilitate conversations with you all, facilitate conversations with steering committee, and in particular, facilitate conversations with the public to make sure that we're getting the full information about what the community would like to see on this site. We're supported by several technical teams who have technical expertise. Rural Resilience Advisors is working on the economic analysis component of the master plan project, and Collins Engineering and Design Develop. There are engineers and our designers who will be putting pen to paper and taking all the ideas that we hear from you all, we hear from the community, and drawing out this conceptual plan that will be part of the larger master plan. And of course, not listed on the slide is you all, right? We like to say that we are the planning, the technical experts, but you all are the Cape Charles experts. We can never know as much about Cape Charles as you all can. So we rely very much on staff, on council, on the community to let us know what your objectives are, what your needs are, what the opportunities are, and what you would like to see happen on this site. So what is the Rail Yard and Harbor Master Plan? As Katie said, this is a master plan. It's a planning effort focused on the 50-plus acre former rail yard site in the adjacent harbor area. The objective, again, is really to work with the community to develop a strategic and conceptual plan, an emphasis on conceptual plan, for how the town, the community, and your partners can redevelop and reinvest in this area. The site occupies, as we all know, a very prominent physical location in the town, but it also has a very prominent role in the history, development of the town, and hopefully also a prominent role in the future of the town as well. So as we're working with you all to develop this master plan, we'll be working in 3 key areas to gather data. We're looking at site conditions, these existing conditions on the site. We'll be looking at the economic profile, that's where Liz and David come in, and what are the economic conditions, economic opportunities surrounding the site, but also the town and region as a whole. And then we'll be looking for community input. Again, really the backbone of any good planning process is community input, and this process will be no different. Making sure that we're listening to the community, responding to what they see as important for this site. We know that there are many site constraints, as well as opportunities, ranging from infrastructure, brownfield remediation, meeting environmental regulations, zoning alignment, as well as connectivity to the historic part of the town, new parts of the town, and making sure that we're bridging all those opportunities and constraints, and really creating a path forward that's going to be successful for the community. And we know that the economic potential on this site is great. The opportunity is really boundless in a lot of ways. But understanding really what the market conditions are and what's going to be the best fit for the site is one of the critical components that we'll be looking at early on in the process to make sure that we are setting you all up for success so that you can make decisions and we can create policy, a policy framework and an incentive framework that's going to make sure that this is a really successful project for the community. And it's also critically important, again, that the vision for this site links community needs, what the community feels that they need here, the place that they live, they work, they shop. It also meets the needs of people who would be coming to the community in the future. So looking at people here now, people who will be coming in the future, and bridging all of those needs, really being responsive to what Cape Charles is and can be. So taking all those three buckets, site conditions, economic profile, community input, that's what comes together to make the rail yard and harbor area master plan. The output of that actual result master plan will be a planning document. It'll be a document that you all, town council, will adopt and you will use as you make all your various decisions related to the rail yard and harbor area. The core component of that master plan is this conceptual plan, but it will also include a summary of community input, context or existing conditions, so that it's clear. The document is very transparent about how the conceptual plan came together, what the data was that we used to create this master plan. And it will also include action strategies or projects or recommendations for how you get from point A to point B. The conceptual plan, as we'll see in the next slide, is just that. It's conceptual, so it's an idea as a guide, really, to help you make decisions. But there will also be some key implementation components to the plan so that you really, the rubber can hit the road. You can really make some decisions and make some progress making this reality. So I'd like to take a minute to talk about what the conceptual plan, that backbone of the master plan is, and also what it is not. I know you all have been through other master planning processes. You've done a lot of great planning in the community, but I think it's important to take a minute, particularly in this venue, to highlight what that conceptual plan will be. And really, it is just, it's a concept plan. It is conceptual, right? It is an idea. Think of it as 30,000 feet. What could happen here based on current market conditions? What could happen here based on the needs and wants of the community? But that said, it's not a final design. It's not a construction plan. It's not engineering documents. It is not set in stone that this is exactly what the site will look like. It is a guide. It is a decision-making guide for you all as town council and town staff. And that way it's a lot like your comprehensive plan, right? Comprehensive plan sets a vision for the ideal future of the community and then sets out some policy framework for how you get to that future. This master plan is very similar to that. It is a planning tool, right? It's a planning tool based on community-driven ideas, a planning tool based on possibilities and vision, a planning tool based on strategic assessments of site conditions and economic conditions. It's a tool for you all so that you can make those decisions, and it's a tool for you all so that you can update your regulatory tools and implementation tools so that you can reach that conceptual future, the plan, the vision that's set out in the document. Actually, before I move on to project schedule, any questions about master plan and how we're going about putting together the master plan, what the final document will be?
You haven't had any water yet, and I'm concerned you're not going to be able to finish.
I had a long drive back to Charlottesville.
Okay. Just looking out.
All right, let's talk about project schedule. You all should have received in your packets a more detailed schedule, a chart, a Gantt chart that shows the project schedule. This is a more diagrammatic representation of that. So the process for developing the master plan essentially breaks down into 3 phases. That is data gathering and input, conceptual plan development, and then review and refinement. And you'll see that we've built in, you can see them in green, community input events throughout each of these phases. We'll also have a steering committee that's formed as part of this process. And we meet with the steering committee throughout each of these phases of the project as well. We are just at the very, very beginning of this process. We obviously had interviews with you all today, site visit. From there, we'll move on to technical assessment and mapping. Liz and David will wrap up the economic profile. And then we will we'll move into the drafting phase. Before we move into the drafting phase, we'll actually meet with the community to do a similar visioning exercise that we'll do this evening. We'll also do some hands-on kind of charrette style mapping work with them, really to get their idea for what their vision is for this site. We'll also meet with the steering committee at least twice during this first phase. First time kind of a meeting and orientation, getting their big picture ideas. And then the second time we meet with the steering committee, we'll need to review kind of what we heard from the community as well as what the existing conditions and economic profile data shows us. From there, we move into concept development. And again, we'll be developing preliminary concepts and vetting those with the community. So bringing those to the community through some in-person community events as well as meeting with the steering committee. After that, we will move into the kind of review and refinement phase of the project, where we have a more finalized site concept, fully drafted master plan, and we're, again, presenting that to the community for review and refinement, presenting it to the steering committee, so that we can button up that document and bring it back to you all for adoption. Start to finish, this is about an 11-month process, so we're looking at probably early fall 2026 before we can bring this plan back to you for adoption. Now that said, there will be documents and data that are developed along the way, data that we're presenting to the steering committee, that will also be available for you all throughout this process. So we won't get to September or October of 2026 and you see something for the first time. There'll be checking points along the way. Questions about schedule?
Just to add in so everybody knows from the public and you know as well, on the planning page of the town's website, we've done a sub-page for this project. So everything that we're providing as background resource, we're posting that. All the minutes of these meetings will be posted, all the agendas will be posted, the meeting notices will be posted. Every draft document along the way will be posted to the website as well. So you can also access it there, as well as when we do provide you through an agenda update to the town council.
That's gonna be in planning.
Yes, under the planning page.
Can we have something on the main page and take it straight to it? Because I think people have a hard time. I think we should put a link in the front just to get to it. Just to make it even easier.
That's a good idea.
Just to make it easier.
I'll see if I can't get the vendor to switch out one of the other quick links for that.
Yeah, just
Decide
yeah.
which one.
Staff directory.
The vice mayor's page, yeah.
I'm always here to help.
Other questions or comments before we talk more specifically about the community engagement? Just very briefly, just wanted to revisit how the community is involved in this process. And as you saw on the slide before, it's throughout the process, throughout these three phases. We've built in-person community engagement events, in-person steering committee, and virtual steering committee meetings, with the idea of first letting people help us set the vision. What is it that they would like to see on this site? Taking that information back and creating the draft concept plan, the draft master plan, and then bringing it back for them to react to and refine it, making sure that we heard them correctly, making sure that throughout the drafting process something didn't come up that we now need some more input on. So that check-in phase. And then finally, once things are a little bit tighter, again bringing it back to say this is the final concept, and what else? Did we hear you correctly, or is there something else that needs to be included in the plan? The first community event and steering committee event, so community event number 1 and community event number 2 they're not set yet. We haven't selected specific dates, but they're typically set for about mid-January. As soon as those dates are set, we'll make sure that they get up on the town website and get advertised. But this first community event is an in-person event, and we have scheduled it for 2 days. So it'll be the same workshop conducted two different days. So probably a weekday evening and then maybe an afternoon, really with the idea of giving people as many opportunities to participate as possible. So maybe childcare is an issue, so you can't come to the evening meeting, but you could come to the lunchtime meeting, or vice versa. If you work during the day, you can come to the evening meeting, but not the lunchtime meeting. Really, again, just giving people as many opportunities as possible to participate. Those event number 1, those 2 events again will be more charrette style, where we're having people, work around maps on a table, draw on maps. There might be some interactive components like we're going to do with you all in a little bit. the idea is blank slate. What could this site be? Really setting the vision so that we can take that back to our designers and our engineers and say how could this fit into the site? Steering committee meeting number 1 will also be kind of a kickoff style envisioning. And then committee meeting number 2, which will probably be about February, about a month after that first one, will bring the site analysis results and those initial public engagement results back to the steering committee so that we can kind of firm up our path forward to concept development. We'll work for a month or so refining the concepts and then come back for another community event. And again, this will be a 2-day event, same workshop done twice. Excuse me, I need that water. And these, we're still working on the exact format for these workshops, but the second and third community events might be more open house style, so people don't have to commit to being at an hour-and-a-half long workshop. Let's say maybe we have stations set up around the room. They can come look at the concepts, put sticky notes up, or scan a QR code and give their feedback on those concepts. And they can spend as long or as little as they would like reviewing the concepts, asking questions. A little bit more flexible on these events further down the road. Same thing for that steering committee number 3 will be draft concept review, so that we can then take all of that feedback back and really finalize, button up the concept plan, the master plan, before presenting that final plan again to the community. Community event number 3 will just be one event, so one opportunity to come look at the final concept and give final feedback before we make those edits and bring it back to you all. Questions about the workshops, the community events, steering committee, how they might work?
So as you're going through them there, it's going to be in that order, where the community event would be first. And then they'll have feedback from that for this first steering committee, or how it?
This is not listed in any particular order. The order is kind of these 3 buckets, but when the community event happens in relation to the steering committee is not set yet. For that first steering committee, we would probably aim to do that before we do a community event, just because it's more of a kickoff style meeting. But the exact dates and order that these are happening haven't quite worked all those details out yet.
All right.
Other thoughts or questions about how we're going about community engagement?
I just, on the community engagement, especially the 2-day option, which is great, we need to think about how we're engaging our part-time community, which is a significant part of our community. And so if they're both during the weekday, then that could
That's
create
a
a
great
problem.
point. And Katie and I talked about that, particularly for community event number 1, since it's happening in January.
Yes.
Season. The weekday events might be fine, but for community event number 2 and community event number 3, which will be happening later, towards the beginning of the season, that we might need to look at a weekend to hold some of those. There's also, again, specific details aren't worked out quite yet, but if we have an interactive component to these workshops, even though we're saying that these are in-person events, there's no reason that that online interactive component couldn't also be posted on the town website.
Because the January will be very hard for part-time people to participate in any way.
Because they're not. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. We'll definitely take that into
Okay.
consideration as we're scheduling these events. All right, other thoughts? Before we turn it over to Liz and David, just look at the steering committee. We do have the 16-member steering committee. Several of you are on that steering committee. But this group is made up of key stakeholders and property owners, community members. They're, as the name says, they're steering the process. They're going to be our main sounding board to bring ideas to before we take them back to the public and bring them back to the town council. We have a complete list of members, and that can be shared with you all as well. Just wanted to share this, say that we are working closely with this group of folks. questions about the steering committee? The other question, I think we're transitioning, yeah, questions. I think we're transitioning now to Liz and David with the comparable communities discussion, but any other questions for me before we turn it over to them? Okay. All right, you guys are up.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Hi.
Good evening.
My name is David Denny. I'm with Rural Resilience Advisors. And this is my friend and partner, Ms. Povar. And together, as Catherine has said, we're subcontractors to Berkeley. And we're mainly looking at the economic and demographic side of things. And first of all, I'd like to say, we look at data all day. We look at screens and reports and all that stuff. But you can't really understand a community until you come into it. And thank you to the staff and the folks at the town for organizing our visit today. I mean, we learned a lot, and it's so impressive. We've got a great place to live and work, and we hope whatever we do will help contribute to the success of that. So thank you very much to Berkeley, and thank you guys for letting us work with you on that. We sent out some information to you, and what we are trying to do is, as I said, we're subcontractors to Berkeley, and what we're trying to do is to understand some of the issues and challenges that you have and you're trying to face, especially with this plan, and then look out into the universe, mainly the East Coast universe, and try to find localities that are similar in nature or who may be wrestling with the same types of issues. And we haven't done a deep dive. We've created this list. We haven't done a deep dive. We've just tried to develop a general profile and then put it through some algorithms. They like to use that word. I like to use that word. And and then come up with a list of similar localities. And we've got actually a similar list. We've got a list of 13, which is a lot. Our responsibility is to try to look at 3 that are the most common and do a deep dive into those. What are the issues that they have which are similar? How have they addressed these issues? Have they been successful? Have they not been successful? Why not? And then come back to the Berkeley group with some information that will help them formulate their plans and their recommendations to you guys. So that's our role in it. Now, I know we sent this out, and the one thing that we'd like to do is to get consensus from you folks about 3 comparable localities that we can look at. We've got 13 here. We're not asking you to do all 13. Actually, though, we sent it out in advance, and I did have a test that I was going to give you tonight. But the dog ate my papers, so I can't do that tonight. So I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that, at those documents and those the rankings as well as the descriptions. We can do this one of 3 ways. We can either discuss and try to come to consensus on 3 tonight, if you'd like to do that. If you need more time, one of the options is to come back and let us know by the 16th when you have your next meeting. We can solicit that information. You don't have to come in. We can solicit your in-group input and put that together, because that's when we'll start doing the real deep dive. One thing we could do tonight, if you don't want to come to consensus on 3, we can just eliminate from this list. Just tell us which ones you think just ought to be taken off right off the bat. So really, it's up to you how you would like to proceed with this. Bottom line is, we do need our 3 at some point, so we can begin to feed Berkeley its information that it requires.
I think it's really important to know that you all, we'd like to select the 3 from you all. We could obviously offer 3 that we think are the best in the world, but they would not be because we're not walking in your shoes. So to the extent that we've tried to do the desk research and looked pretty much along the, as David said, the East Coast all the way down and around Florida, and I think we even looked at some West Coast communities, we know that macroeconomies affect how you are successful. So something happening on the West Coast, you need to think about the fact that it's on the West Coast. That's a totally different physical, geographic, political, human environment. So that's kind of one lens to look through it. Another lens to look through as you look at these options is, what are the problems you think you're facing in trying to develop this beautiful piece of property to make it the highest and best use for this town? And if you see a challenge in some of these options that we've given you, maybe that's a community you really want us to dig a little more into. So, happy to have, as David said, open discussion, or the other thing, if there's a community that you really think is a great comparable, and we don't have it on the list, let us know, and we'd like to look at that as well.
And Hancock.
For sure, same.
An Hancock is a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Yeah, they're very similar from a bunch of different things. It's just a little small. The guy, it's a historic town, tourism, do have a harbor, same scale. The resilience, that one might be the oddball, but they're
I don't know that
next
that's
10
what their
years.
Harvard, our Harvard.
No.
you
Yeah,
know.
but
At all.
there's still a harbor.
And they're not gonna grow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, comparing it to Exmoor,
Well,
Well,
that's why
yeah.
it's the bottom of the list.
I know that.
But I
I'm
think
just saying,
St. Michael's is a good
Yeah.
choice as one of the
Yeah.
ones to compare.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, Hancock.
No, St. Michael's. We're going with your list. St. Michael's is better.
Okay, all right.
Love St.
I was wondering about Edenton in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is not on the list, right?
No, it's
Right.
not,
Okay.
but it seems to have some comparisons, I thought.
What do you see in it that kind of draws you?
Well, it definitely has the harbor
Yeah,
and smaller and very historic.
okay.
Those were the things off the bat that I thought of.
Harbor and history kind of resonate with you. Okay, that's helpful. Does that makes sense to you all?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the
I don't
area.
know. Lewis, to me, is probably not,
Oh.
we don't
I
want to
agree.
end up like that. I
Right.
think that's-
Right, yeah.
Errors of their ways that we can learn from?
Yeah, Lewis, I
And
would
it's just,
take all-
it's a dense, more dense
Yeah.
And it has the
population,
subsidiary development
Mhm.
around it that we just don't.
yeah.
don't
And it has the
want.
pull of the ferry that just
Right.
brings large numbers of people there, so.
Nobody really knows how to pronounce it if you're not from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'd scratch that as well, I agree.
Okay.
Well, you don't want one of the cities with the cruise ships coming in?
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we're gonna stick to gambling.
What about Beaufort or Rockport? Either one of those?
Yeah, I think they're both close, you know, Beaufort is a golf cart community. Just
Yeah, I think
Rockport,
Beaufort is not a bad
Harbor,
one to include.
What have you, so they're viable.
And I was thinking of, no, I can't think of the name of it. Been there, all it is a golf cart community in South Carolina off of, can't I think of it now? Bald Head, Bald Head Island.
Mountain Island?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have them?
Yeah, I already thought about that. With
Yeah, I mean, it's-
The maritime, with the harbor master idea.
From
and-
today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it does have a ferry, but it's not a Lewis ferry with the, it's just a people ferry.
I think the only thing that all has to think about is it's not really working harbor. I mean, there's stuff that comes in there, but it comes in there to feed the grocery store and that type of thing.
And construction,
You know, it's-
correct. Right.
Southport,
Yeah, and I mean, I brought it up today, and I don't know if the rest of you did with the interviews, but I mean, that's a big part of ours, is keeping it a working harbor throughout, regardless.
And you're right, from that perspective, and other Southport is a good one too.
Mhm.
I don't know about Chrisfield. I don't
No.
see that as.
It's the same as like a name.
Chrisfield.
yeah.
Feels like
So
I mean, a lot of these I just don't know. I mean,
Well, we've got enough to, some are definitely, yes, we've got a couple to add to that we need to look at a little bit further.
Mhm.
We need more information on those too before we make.
I do think we can take some things off. I mean,
Sure, yeah,
we could take Exmoor off,
yes.
and probably Port Royal,
I agree.
and Chrisfield, we talked about coming
Mhm.
off.
as long as we're not hearing a no to the objection, to the
Yes.
taking off, we're taking it off the list.
Yeah, that's
It's-
fine.
These things, this is really helpful.
Are there any of the Golden Isles that you're familiar with, those communities in Georgia that
You know, there
you've
was,
looked at? Like, those seem to have a lot of common attributes to me in my mind that,
there was one, and why is it showing up?
What about Jekyll Island? They don't have
There
one.
was one that I looked at in South Carolina, you know, they call it Beaufort, North Carolina, it was Beaufort area.
yeah.
Buford.
That's not,
And
it's
it
not the
was
same.
Hilton, I mean, they made a big deal of this Hilton head, it's, you know,
Right.
Georgia, that, and it didn't seem to quite
Mm-mm.
mesh.
Yeah, no, those wouldn't, but like, they have like the rivers down there, they're not harbors, but they have a lot of, they have the tourism, they have the golf course communities, they have the industrial element there. It's not a harbor like we have, but the rivers that cut
Yeah, but the
through
rivers, you really
have
don't
that
want to be
same,
swimming in because,
yeah, perhaps.
have a little experience down there across the island.
I don't
I wanna
know.
go swimming.
I just didn't know if you might have any knowledge of some of those places down there.
Rhode Island.
I only say that because I was just down there and I was taking a lot of pictures because like, oh, wow.
Obviously.
I would comment back on that, Clayton. The concern I have using something of that is the coastal resiliency piece of it. If we keep it more, so we have the exposure to the Atlantic Ocean side and that impact in this analysis, and comparables would be useful. That's all. Because coastal resiliency is a major component of everything we're doing moving forward here in Virginia in master planning processes.
Right.
And trying to ensure our strategies really address our community and helping us look at how others may be handling some of those issues as well. So,
And these would not check that box or,
not quite.
I mean, they're
Because of the
all,
bay? I mean, because of
they're all on the coast.
Yeah.
I mean, they have rivers that are coming off the
They're
Atlantic.
more oriented.
No, I'm just saying that the
Yeah.
rivers that are coming off the,
Okay.
they're tributaries and that
I just
they're
don't know them
feeding
as well
out.
as you do, that's
Yeah.
my only concern.
Yeah.
So no, I would imagine that
Yeah.
it's very marshy and very coastal there as well. I don't know. I didn't mean to throw curveballs.
But a much,
We can do a little bit of digging on that.
Beaufort, I had already had
So many
some
more
articles.
people in that area. I mean, the number of people
Oh,
in
yeah,
that area
Beaufort's
is
too,
huge.
it's big. It's not the same community. I grew up in that area too, and it's,
Yeah.
Not so long.
no.
But to that end, I wonder
Beaufort.
if some of
Beaufort.
these New England
Yeah.
locales are not, that they're just much more congested people-wise than some of the southern. So I wonder if maybe we could take some of them off the list. I mean, I've never been.
Yeah, I've
so
never
I-
been to Rockport.
But Maine just seems like,
I've been there to Maine. I wouldn't put
Not
that
a lot
one.
of people there.
okay.
Yeah, there's not, but it's, I wouldn't say it's similar either.
Take Rockford off.
Oh, I like Rockport, Massachusetts.
Rockport, Massachusetts.
Oh, that was one of the ones I thought was
Yeah, I wasn't a yes or
good.
no with it. I just don't know it.
Yeah, I would keep it on for now,
I'm
for that one.
I'm
Talking
about
Maine, yeah.
Maine seems like,
Yeah.
Maine seems too different.
Geographically different from
Yeah.
every perspective.
And too cold.
Too cold. No, we can't change that.
No.
I wanna go back over here to Beaufort.
Beaufort.
What was the question about Beaufort? It's,
Are you talking about Beaufort, North Carolina, or Beaufort, South Carolina?
sorry.
North Carolina.
North.
Sorry, I know everyone pronounces things
Yeah.
different, so whatever
Yeah.
you're, Beaufort,
Yeah,
Beaufort.
it's Beaufort and it's right
Sometimes
next
it's
to
Lewes,
Kansas City.
sometimes it's
I'm
Lewes.
not, I've never been
On the
there.
coast.
Yes.
Sea Island though would be maybe a
Yeah, that's where
specific
the,
one to look.
that's where the Marines launch out to go to the Pacific,
Right.
Morehead City.
Nice. It seems pretty,
So it's across the way from Morehead. I think you have to take a small ferry to get over there. I think.
No, you go, yeah,
Or go up and around.
no, you go right through Morehead, you get to Beaufort.
It's only miles since you did it.
Yeah.
Atlantic beaches.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, right.
I think the Rhode Island one we could take off as well.
The thing about Morehead was that there's a rail line that
The
runs
Wickford.
down to Acton, working for.
Mhm.
It's a major-
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where's that? Sea Isle? Yeah.
You wanna summarize kind of where we are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
How we've done it.
summarize.
Since it would find it.
It seemed like St. Michael's, Maryland was a really good choice.
That's a great choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rockport, are you Rockport in?
I would,
Yes.
yeah.
Rockport in, Beaufort, North Carolina, we're leaving that in. Lewis or Lewes or.
Out.
We're out.
Out.
Booth Bay,
out.
Out.
No,
St. Mary's, Georgia, didn't have.
we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
Southport, North Carolina.
Where is St. Mary's near?
St. Mary's is, I'll tell you, let's see if I can,
Looks like north. northern part of it.
Let's take a look at that.
I think that's again with the rivers.
Yeah, that's one of the, yeah.
Yeah.
It says a strong, this has a stronger marsh island tourism dynamic, so marshes and islands versus,
I would take it out.
okay. Then we had Southport, and we'll keep Southport in.
St. Mary's is
Yeah.
near Fernandina Beach. Okay, I've been to St. Mary's.
It's-
It's near Fernandina,
It's inland.
Amelia Island. It's going towards,
But it's inland.
yeah, but it's a different community.
Yeah.
So take it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's out. Port Royal, South Carolina is gonna be out, I think, what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Field out.
Maryland
Out.
is definitely out.
Oh, so
And we didn't talk about Beaufort, North Kingston, Rhode Island.
They said that it was cold.
Well, that was Maine, but yeah, we can 86 Rhode Island too.
Yeah, and it's,
And looking at your analysis with the table.
Yes.
It wasn't a lot that was a strong match.
Take that one.
okay.
Everybody good with that one? Taking it out?
Yes.
And Old Saybrook, yeah.
That's too close up there with Maine. 86 that good.
And then we had Exmoor out.
That's out.
We're gonna look at a little more at Sea Island, we're gonna look a little bit more at, is it Anapoc or?
An I don't think you need, I don't,
I don't think you
I
need.
don't think you need to do that.
Yeah. what-
You can take an Hancock off.
Okay, and then we had Eden in North Carolina.
Edenton,
We'll
yeah.
look at that, yeah. So that gives us a good start, and what we'll do a little bit more on this, and then we might send out, you know, we still think.
Give you a little deeper
Yeah, a little
summary on
bit.
each one.
And then by the 15th or the 19th.
I'd keep, I mean,
It's eight.
you want to leave Baldhead on there?
yeah.
I mean, I'd leave Baldhead on there too, personally. I mean, it's, size-wise, it's very similar. Definitely golf cart community. Doesn't have the working harbor, but not like our working harbor.
Be interesting to see how many year-round residents have too. 'cause
Well, it's similar to us. I mean, right now, we were talking about it for January. I mean, it'll be down to our 1,035 for January, February.
Okay. We have what we need.
The voters registered.
So if you all do any more research over the holidays, because you have nothing else to do but research, and find any things that you think would be really helpful to us as we do some more analysis, just let us know. You can go back to Catherine, or you can come directly to us. But the input is really appreciated and the thoughtful way you're looking at this. Our best result will be to help Berkeley Group understand opportunities that other communities have taken advantage of that could be mirrored here, challenges they've overcome that could be overcome through some new tools here, and maybe uncover some new types of assets that none of us have thought about. We did learn so much today about some of the challenges that we can't see, but they're beneath the surface. So your input is really, really appreciated. We thank you for it.
Great.
And I will come back for your next meeting in January and give that test.
Perfect.
Just to be clear on logistics, we have a meeting on December 18th. Are we going to see material before then in order to draw a consensus on three? Okay.
We'll get you material before then, but we'll try to get it in the early January, if not before Christmas, we'll try.
Yeah.
No,
No.
we're talking December 18th.
December
So no,
18th.
we will not
Oh,
have
no,
it for
you will
the.
not, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's what I was asking,
Yeah.
to make sure we're working to the schedule that we need to be working towards.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be for January.
And probably what we'll do, unless somebody has an objection, the ones that were definitely guesses, I'm probably not gonna do any deeper right now, but the ones that we have, we want to add or look a little deeper into, I'll add that to, and then you'll get that list with the same kind of information, so.
From a schedule perspective, for us to have your response by mid-January.
Yeah.
January is what
Okay, that'd be
we're not
work.
December.
Okay.
Perfect.
By the way, Baldhead is only accessible by ferry. Isn't that kind of a different animal?
It is, but I was just thinking size-wise, golf cart community, size of the harbor
Gotcha.
is very similar.
We'll give you some ratings.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, you are correct. There's no cars on the
I was trying
island
to- I
at all,
thought- wasn't
except
sure if
for
that was
construction
Kaczynski.
vehicles and police vehicles.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tangier. Oh, yeah, great. Except for it's not sinking into the ocean.
Okay, we're gonna transition to the vision exercise. This will require tablet or smartphone to participate. When we get this out, I'll
Doodle.
Way to go, Clayton.
What's that? What I do?
Where's your laptop?
I lost it. Fell in the water bay.
You left it with Steve.
We can do it. This is kind of like what we did at BML. Do it on
Yeah,
Zoom. I like it.
that's right.
Olivia, you'll have your invoice over tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm sure it'll turn up in the tide.
Okay, so I'm sure you all have done this before, but what you'll do is you'll either scan the QR code or you can go to minty.com and then enter the local code that you see, and it should access our,
You're all set.
You're all set.
y'all are all set.
Waiting for the presenter.
No, not yet.
Like,
Sorry, I'm just, I'm working.
It's pretty prerequisite. Working with bar kids. You can just fill it out. QR code.
Okay.
All right, so, I'm sure you all have done things like this before.
Poor Paul.
And I'm not a quick learner. We'll see.
So the first question we have here, it says in one word or phrase, what should the rail yard and harbor area become in the future? This is gonna populate as what's known as a word cloud. So you can enter a response, as many responses as you want, right? So, and also if you see something on the screen that someone else has written and you like it, you can enter that same response. Because what you're gonna see is happen on the screen is the phrase or the word that you all enter more frequently becomes larger. So it's a way to kind of visually see consensus. Where do we have the same ideas amongst the seven of you? So again, put in as many responses as you like, and if you see something on the screen that you like, repeat it with that response in. So you see what's happening, we've got integrated, that's getting a little bit larger. See things taking shape here. We're still typing, so we keep typing.
A lot of the same
I found
thoughts
like
in
I'm
different
repeating the
words.
same word over and over again.
Exactly.
But it's interesting to see all the same, there's similar meanings to it.
Yeah, I hadn't even looked up yet, so
Different ways
pretty
of
good.
saying the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can keep typing it if you want to, but let's have a conversation about what we
like
see on the screen. Obviously, one of the biggest words here is integrated. And I've got a sneak peek into this since I've talked to a lot of you already. But does someone want to talk about what that means? When you say integrated, what does that mean to you?
Not feeling like it's the new part of Cape Charles, but it's not a duplicate of what we already have, but not a separate place, something that fits together with the town, that nods to history based on its proximity to the existing commercial thoroughfare that we have on Mason. It's fine that we have a gated golf course community kind of slightly aside, but I think based on where the railroad property is, it's really crucial that it becomes integrated into the flavor of what it's adjacent to.
In other words, northwest, east-west
Yeah.
roads, and just so it
Road orientation.
basically, I put blend in, so it actually just basically becomes part of. So we just
ties in
basically
seamlessly.
the same thing as integrated.
Yes, it does.
I used the example today, and I would repeat that, and that is, I look at it as we're a big puzzle, and we have the frame, and we have the different parts of it, and that part, those puzzle pieces need to fit in like they make sense to the bigger picture. And like you said, that it's been there forever. And I use the Sea Cottage edition as an example of, personally, I'd like to see in 100 years, when someone looks back to this, they see that like it's been there forever. You know, a lot of people don't even know the Sea Cottage edition wasn't there initially. And I look at this as that, you know, like how can it just look like it's been there in a way?
What about this term accessible? Is that related to integrated? Is that in a different meaning? Someone want to talk about, someone who used that word, what you meant when you said accessible?
For me, handicapped accessible, easily accessed from different parts, whether it's the historic district or from Bay Creek South, that it's easy to get to.
Yeah, we hear a lot now from people who live on the shore, who've been here for a while, who say, you know, I don't even like to go into Cape Charles anymore because they view it as just too difficult to park backwards, to find a parking spot or whatever. So just an easy way to get in and out, whether you're on a golf cart, whether you're walking, whether you're in a vehicle, just being able to get in and out without stressing out about that.
Like Tammy and I talked about today as well, accessible to where this piece is, it actually does tie everything together with Bay Creek Historic and now this piece of property. It actually brings us together a lot more.
Really makes the harbor more accessible to what is now the historic district as well as to the Bay Creek communities. It ties everything together as one.
Yeah, and I see, there are terms that were only used a handful of times, like part of town. But part of town, cohesive, these are all part and parcel of the same kind of idea.
Walmart.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the Walmart, Tammy? Because I know that's your...
I was like, Walmart.
I was gonna put cruises just for it, but
Do you mean a superstore or just a regular one?
So you put Walmart in there.
He's trying to blame me. It wasn't me.
mine's so small up there for the water park and go-karts and everything.
Well, it's a very small word, so.
Yeah.
There you
only
go.
put it once.
No, it's not up there.
It's our joke
No, I
store in
know
the group.
Walmart. It's not talking
But,
about-
I mean, if you look at it, really, a lot of them pretty much are all tied into the four big ones.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
they are.
Absolutely. There's mixed use, pedestrian, or mixed use, and there are a couple other terms of that, and then we've got walkable, pedestrian friendly. Yeah, so these ideas are all kind of tied in together. I really like awesome. We'll strive for awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
You're welcome.
I swore that was Clayton.
All right, let's move on to the next question. This is going to be a ranking question. Okay, so it says, as a vision is developed for the rail yard and harbor area, which guiding principles matter most to you? So rank your choices, one being the most important. And what you'll do on your phone is you kind of hold it with your finger, hold the phrase with your finger, and then you can drag it up to the top and reorder. And then once you're done reordering them, scroll down to the bottom, I think it says submit or advance.
What's the difference between balanced mixed-use development and a vibrant mixed-use economy?
So balance of types of uses versus, something that's more commercially focused, economically focused. And if there's something that isn't on this list, we can talk about that. I don't think there's an option for you to type it in, but we can talk about that also. So I guess to your your question, which one resonates more with you?
Yeah, they seem the same to me.
Finger slip.
Still working. So the number 1 and 2 spot, we have essentially mixed use development. We talked a lot about this today. Does someone want to talk about what vibrant mixed use or balanced mixed use means to you for this site, what that might look like?
To me, a balanced mixed use is basically not overdoing it with too much commercial, because if we have too much commercial, we only have so many people to support it year round. So that could turn into a lot of vacant storefronts. Like when I first moved here, there was only 3 shops open out of this whole strip. So now it's packed. But, you know, you just have to keep that in consideration for that moving forward. Plus with, you know, future developments, as we talked about, the outside the boundaries of town, if water or sewer ever goes out to the highway, that's gonna generate more commercial properties out there. So we just have to keep that in mind with the infrastructure we have and the people we have here. Even though we have an influx in the summer, it's kinda hard to keep that open during the winter.
I would say go open space as much as developing the space in that first one.
Other thoughts on number 1 and 2? I think we've talked about number 3 in the first question, of the sense of making sure it's integrated and connected. But this idea of context-sensitive design, and we talked about this in our interviews today, but what does that mean for a historic town? What does context-sensitive look like for this area of town?
So I use the word blend in, so it basically integrates from one side to the other. So it doesn't look like, as Clayton put it, where we have the north side of town, where we have the term Jelly Bean Village came from. So, you know, we don't need that to the south. So if somehow we can integrate, you know, a similar style of craftsman in our ordinance, that way we can continue down through that harbor area. It's just, you know, from an architectural standpoint, and keep the same flow of the lights and stuff like that, you know. But it's gonna be more modern, of course.
I think maintaining the view sheds, strawberry and peach. The continuing the trail, community trail, so that it extends from the beachfront along the water through the harbor area and across. So for me, that's part of context sensitive.
And I'll add on the view sheds, I provided a comment this morning that I didn't think that was a big deal. Everybody has been carrying that for decades now, and I don't see how that fits in, but whether or not we have to design around view sheds, it's just, to me, not important. That's what I want.
What about the concept of view sheds from in the space itself. So, you know, when you're walking around in this new area, you can still see the water.
The backyard's backed up to back.
Well, a lot of the view shed comments was always the historic would have a view shed over into the water. Okay, great. One time it's maybe been a thought, but I don't view that as being an important factor.
Oh, it was a massive factor back in the day.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
it's-
Once we get to do
It's
that,
in our
it's going to
documents.
beachfront
It
master
is in
plan,
our
it's gonna be a
Right,
big
I'm
deal.
just saying.
I don't disagree, so my point is that that's a community input thing that we would need, since we've always had that. I think we would want to get input from the community to say, is that something we do away with?
And I'd agree with that if you define it better. Okay? It's just a generic term for me, and I can't visualize what it's doing for the community.
But you can integrate it, it doesn't necessarily have to be roads, you can integrate backyard to backyard down a view shed that keeps an open path through the corridor.
To what?
For people to look down through, to the
To the
harbor,
water.
to the harbor, to the water, to whatever.
There's not many streets or avenues that right now
Correct.
has a view shed down there, and I'm not sure what you're trying to protect relative to that.
It's been something
But
that
it
we've
will be,
had,
yeah.
it's been around since I moved here.
No, I
Before I
agree
even
with
moved
that. I
here.
agree with that. I'm just saying, I'm not ready to defend that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's one of those things that's been there forever. There's just not a lot of people here to defend that anymore.
But again, now we're getting very detailed.
Yeah, I know.
So any thoughts on 4, 5, or 6, and can anyone wants to?
I mean, I took number 5 more as
Yeah.
not so much celebrating it, but keeping it
Keeping it.
Yeah,
a working.
preserving it.
Which is why I moved it up very high on my list. because
Right. Honor
We need
it,
to keep it
honor
as
it. Mm-hmm.
a working harbor, regardless of what happens to that area.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the way that it's worded doesn't say that, but I took it as,
Like, the word maybe is better, maintain,
right, there you go.
support, whatever it might be, but not celebrate.
And these were written before we had
Yeah.
conversations with you all.
Sure.
So there's
Yeah.
lots of room for
And number 4 is gonna work itself out anyway, because we really don't have a lot of control over that.
And 6, I mean, I think the reason maybe why it's down so low for most of us is that this property really doesn't have a whole lot of
Water.
water access. I mean, there's one small piece, but enhancing it, yeah, and that you could, one of my comments earlier was, you know, that our boat ramp parking is already inadequate, and as we continue to grow at the pace we're growing, we'll need to improve upon that, which would enhance water access, I guess you could say, but,
But that could change on how it's developed as well.
yeah,
You could all of a sudden have a lot more
yeah.
access.
Let's do the last question.
You still own the property over there by the Connex boxes?
So this question, I think there are 13
Boat parking.
choices, I know they're tiny on the screen, but it's asking you to choose your top 5. So choose 5 on that list. I think you just click them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after you've read through everything, and then hit submit.
Oh, what happened? Oh, skip ahead.
How many? 5?
View sheds is second to last.
I didn't want to frighten you off.
I'm not
You heard
pushing
me,
it.
you heard
I don't
me.
wanna-
Don't do it, don't you,
I'm gonna
don't you push it,
crack down
don't you
who
push it.
This
does
is
get that
not anonymous.
We have ways.
I'm not shy.
No problem. Have a hard time with 5, I'll tell you that.
It's hard.
It truly is anonymous. We don't know who's answered what.
I really do want to hit view shed.
I know, just for fun.
Number one. I'm only.
But I
gonna-
don't want to waste one of my 5.
That's right.
I didn't really know what it means anymore now. That
Yeah.
okay.
You can uncheck.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have 5.
Put it over 3 and put it in the last one. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, Bob put one for view shed.
Where's Walmart at?
I took Wally off.
I see your 5 1s.
View shed, view shed, view shed.
Some here still
No choices left.
Let's see, there's 7 of us up here and 7.
You guys, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got
Oh.
9 responses now.
You got Rick.
Oh, okay. Well, there's still 8, so it's still, you know, sure.
All right, so we've got 2 tied for the number 1 spot.
I was going to say, I
Ken
can't
still has
read.
to put his in.
My
A
last one.
walkable mixed-use development, housing and commercial, and site design and character. I think that follows.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
It's the top 2, the ones that had the most responses, were a walkable mixed-use development, housing and commercial, and then site design and character, which I think
Yes.
holds true to the conversation that we had
Right.
this evening.
What's number 7?
Number 7 is
For-
a destination for residents and visitors. So this is a place for people who are here year-round, who are here early part of the year, who are here only part-time.
Somebody drop off.
And then 5,
5
5
is
people?
waterfront parks and public spaces.
Uh-huh.
And again, I think we've talked a lot about
Yeah.
that in terms of promenade, the walkable space, public space.
All this 4.
Number 4 is parking solutions.
No kidding.
Really?
Should be there.
Wasn't on my bingo card.
One of my top 5.
We gotta put it somewhere. It's the
I know.
last place to put it.
We'll put it right there with a 60-foot of lane we have to put it in.
Yeah.
There's a B&B they're going to tear down on Tazewell. They're going to build a garage.
Could have built a garage right there. Great view of
triple
the,
decker.
yeah, exactly.
View sheds and scenery got 2.
How about that? Paul and who else?
Yeah.
We didn't get any votes for environmental education and interpretation.
We have a museum for that.
Yeah.
It's not the right site for
Yeah,
that.
we've got plenty of museums.
It's not in the top 5.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't
Right.
mean we wouldn't necessarily want to see
Right.
it, but it's not over.
Where did arts and whatever fall? I can't read what they said.
Is that one?
Sorry, we took too long, we were too slow.
Space for arts and culture and music.
Space for arts and culture had 3 votes, so it's kind of the lower bracket.
And,
We don't have more quirky arts.
I could pick all 5 votes for that, but I just did 3.
But I think, I think this is representative
Right,
of
3.
the conversations we've had today. And your point is well taken, is maybe they're not in the top 5, it doesn't mean we don't want them. It just means there's some other things that are
Yeah, because it was hard
more vital.
to kind of decide in those last, like what, using your 5th one for, you know.
Are you gonna use this exact same thing for the community involvement?
We will use something similar, I think, based on conversations we've had between them.
Because it'd be
I like
nice
it.
to see the community involvement do some, very similar to this, because then we can say, if we're in the right place, if we're not in the right place, then we really need to start.
And it's immediate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Oh, people love
We're not
that.
waiting for surveys to come back and.
And hide this, don't let them see this.
Well, this was the test run.
No
You
picture
guys-
taking.
You guys were the guinea pigs.
Well,
We'll
yeah,
take it back,
it's
we'll
out
tweak
there.
it. But the good thing about this also is say, we've got 2 of the same events that'll be happening in January. The responses will be cumulative, so we won't just, we'll be able to see what both groups of people said. And we potentially, again, put it online so we can get a broader sampling of responses.
So in the January 1, going back to what Tammy was talking about, and then tell me if I'm wrong, I think she was actually saying that the January 1 may be the one that we'd want to do the weekend on, because as we go later in the year, people do get here more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Am I right?
Right.
Okay.
I worry that if we don't do it on a weekend, and if we do it on a weekday in January, we won't get any part-time involvement, as well as a lot of residents if they work during the, that kind of thing. But I think we may need a weekend.
Plus, it'll be great getting some more people in town in January.
Yeah.
Do you get my logic?
I understand it, but to me, it sounds like January would be the better meeting to actually do it during the weekday, both morning and evening, and then make sure we have a strong public online presence for participation, so that we can do an outreach.
Well, I guess it depends on.
We understand you're probably not going to
Yeah.
come back in January, so we want to give you an enhanced response ability to communicate through our website, through surveys.
Yeah, I think that's the factor we don't know the information of. So, yes.
And how are we gonna
If that's the
control it
case.
to just Cape Charles residents? Because it's really, this is about Cape Charles. It's not like the Beach Master, it's a public beach, different, in my opinion. So how are we
Well,
gonna,
we just send access to
well,
people. You can do that. I mean, we just get a list. We have a list.
Can't you just have them put their address, their home address or something?
But it'll still, then we have to weed it out again.
but it's, and it's also anonymous, well,
No, but
It'll be
it's
anonymous.
it's anonymous once it goes up there, but if we have, or,
it's just a can of worms to think about.
Well, let me ask you this, what is the reason to limit it to just residents?
Because it's, people are.
because they are the stakeholders in
The
the
stakeholders,
community.
yeah.
And
But can't we sort?
Can you come here?
Yeah, I mean, can't we still sort it like we do our community survey? By, this was somebody who lived, who answered, just as long as we have those
I have a couple of
questions.
thoughts on this. So yes, we do quarterly billing, so the trash billing will be going out in the January cycle. So we can set up one survey to those residents, because we know those are true residents. And then we could do a similar survey, and post on the website. That may help us distinguish, maybe that's not all town residents, those could be visitors or people who look at our website that way. But at least I'm making a targeted outreach to the residents through the trash billing process.
Yeah, but I really don't want
The trash bill is going to homeowners, not necessarily residents, right? Right? If you own a home here and you don't live here full time, you're still getting the trash bill.
I'm trying not to
So
do
we're
is,
not getting just residents.
yeah,
We're
but
getting
we just
They are
have to.
taxpayers, I
Yeah,
guess.
so I just want-
Yeah, but they would,
Full-time residents.
they would definitely be stakeholders.
Yes, they would be,
Right.
but that
Yeah.
wouldn't get you residents, is the point,
I don't know
correct?
that we need to separate full-time residents from
I don't
property
think so.
owners.
I don't think so either, but
I don't
let's
wanna-
just be clear that we're going after property owners, not.
Right. And I don't want to do surveys either. I don't want it to be where there's these surveys that we have to come in the
I'm
same
not
way
saying
we do
it's
it
a
in.
survey, it'd be this very thing with this QR code.
They'd be part of the same meeting we were,
What we
that's
just
fine.
did.
They would be live, but they would just be
They could virtually participate.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
okay, 'cause I, just when you say survey, that just
Sorry.
makes my skin crawl,
This was
because
a
they're just
survey.
such a pain.
But I think there could be
Maybe
some
ask
value
Claudette had
in
a
getting
question
local
from
community,
historic.
Northampton County input.
I don't know. It's however you want to.
Because if we're talking about some commercial development, as you mentioned, there's employees, but there's also people who will come to use those facilities. And that may be important for us to know as well.
So if we put something like this on the town website, I was gonna say a fourth question, an additional question we could ask, and it would be, people would self-select whether you're a resident,
Yes.
full-time resident, part-time resident, whether
Right.
you just work here, whether you just visit here. And yet, you then have to parse out that data, but because it's all digital, you just sort of like.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's, I was
That's
saying,
fine.
we have a community survey that's about to go out, that we have those
Yeah.
divided, so people are used to those answering those kind of first.
And if you guys are all okay with it, I think Claudette had something to say.
I just wanted, just to put my Diane Davis hat on, that I love the technology
No.
idea because we get the results, but we do have a portion of our community that does still rely on either the paper copy or maybe a way that they would have to come into the town office to do it on a tablet or something like that.
Well, those people hopefully would be here.
Yeah,
The
so
present, I think the presence, that would help
either-
that piece
either
of it,
that
right?
If they were here, they may not have their own smartphone.
Sure.
to try to do that.
So
Yeah.
but have that technology available here, I get it.
Or again,
Yeah.
we can work with the library and put that as part of the announcement and say, you can always go to the library and they'll help you take this survey as
Yeah.
well. Yes.
But the night of, or,
You'd have to have an awful
Yeah.
lot of handhelds for people that.
We could all have our tablets here, and just open up as long as they have an email.
Yeah, and
Right.
we run into this in other communities. Some folks just aren't gonna, they're not gonna wanna put
No.
their phone to do anything.
Yeah.
There's some folks who just aren't comfortable or don't know how to do it. And so we often have additional tablets available so they can use them, or I just use my own phone and enter their answers. for
Yeah.
them. It's anonymous anyway.
yeah,
So there are ways around that, but they would have to be
Physically.
yes.
That's fine.
Well, we might be able to have a few extra staff here that night that could help along with that too. Yeah,
computer or tablet.
yeah.
So I'm coming back to ask the January question, because we do have a pull out right now to the project management team. As you heard, it's a very large group, and so we are trying to schedule that around the same time frame of this community event. So we're meeting with the project management team. And so right now, we put out to them dates between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of 2 weeks in January, the middle 2 weeks in January. So are you okay if we end up with the community events being held on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, one in the morning, one in the evening?
One in the
Or-
morning,
Well,
afternoon.
I won't say morning, sorry, afternoon.
I'll be sleeping.
I'm fine as long as
Noon
it's,
is morning to me, sorry.
as long as it's advertised enough and they know it's virtual and real time, I'm fine with not doing the weekend.
Are you
one.
looking at like 13, 14, 15?
13th and 14th are two of the dates we proposed, and the 22nd is another date we proposed. And again, it's based upon whatever else is happening that we knew about.
Sure.
When we put these dates out.
Right.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm okay, or if I need to.
Thanks for explaining the-
I put a weekend in here, that's it.
Thank you for explaining the community engagement. That meets that need,
Right.
I think.
Okay.
Everybody else, good? Moving on.
Any other questions for me? Otherwise, end of presentation.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
pretty well.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
That was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad it was fun.
Kept us awake.
Yeah.
Do you need like 10 or 15 minutes to put the plan together, or do we just wait? She's done while we were
He's the
talking.
person that
Great.
put Walmart in, just so
Good.
you know.
I'm not. I'm curious.
All right, so moving along with the
on me.
meeting, Rick, do you have any comments for us this evening?
Let me see here. So, I did share about the bathrooms, so
Yes,
you
sir.
got that. The second is on the surveys. Thank you, Libby. She has, we both kind of worked through all of the details from the survey from the last meeting we had with you guys. You do have a copy of one. We would love to go live with this, but we'd like for your feedback. If there's anything that you see, in fact, Clayton just gave me one that I could easily add to this. But it'd be easy to add, Libby. But if there's anything else that you see, please send me an email as soon as possible.
Yeah, by, like,
As long as it doesn't put it
Give
in
us,
4
give us a
pages.
deadline.
give us a date.
What'd you do, put Walmart in it?
Tomorrow by,
Tomorrow by 9 a.m. 12 noon tomorrow.
noon tomorrow.
Yeah,
All right, if anybody has any comments,
yeah.
please. get
So, I mean, if you did read the memo, we were not able to kind of put neighborhood, it just wouldn't work.
Right.
However, by adding another address line on it, we can parse that out from that address. To see
Okay.
where these surveys are coming from. So we can still get the data is what I'm trying to say.
All right.
So please look over this tonight, tomorrow morning, and give me your feedback. And, because if I don't hear from you, we're going live with it.
Sounds good.
The goal is to get them in the mail by Monday
Okay,
and be able to go live, because the deadline is January 9th.
Yeah.
It's only 2 words.
month, right.
2 words?
Right.
So we're putting these in the mail, one per household, is that right? Okay, but then if there's multiple people in the household, but they just go.
Online.
It's also going to be available online.
Yeah.
Just making sure, we're gonna say that, because we wanna make sure
As
that
I-
we're not getting one per.
I do get that question from people quite a bit, if it's just one per household.
Is there gonna be a link on the site where they can print one out?
There's,
I think so.
we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna put it on the website and on Facebook.
Okay.
And I was gonna send the link to Cape Charles happenings and
So if they all want to fill it out by hand, they can just print out extra copies.
Yeah, it
then
doesn't,
we'll have extra copies in the office.
Okay.
I don't see where says,
I don't think it does say anything about one per household.
but it's not one, that's
Right,
my
I mean,
point is, I think
Yeah,
it should
I
actually
did not
say-
add that on here. Is that what you want?
No, we don't want it.
No.
I'm saying,
Okay.
if you
Not
mail
one
this
per
out,
person.
right.
I think you
If you
should.
mail it out and someone gets it, just one copy, they're gonna think, is it just one
They do.
per household?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is to somewhere on here say, you know, I'm assuming every adult in
We
the
encourage
household,
everyone in the household to fill
Yes.
this out.
except for kids.
Don't pretend you're the 5-year-old and making the
I'm very
answers.
interested in that
Yeah.
fill out the application.
No, I'm,
We're all up here.
I mean, I think 18 should be a threshold.
I like
Okay.
18.
Yeah, you get a response from the 5 kids with it.
Three of those kids.
Those are the kids we're trying to.
And Benjamin has the others. Benjamin has them, and yeah, yeah. We
Okay,
got
we
6
can add
kids
that at the very
represented.
top.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
That's a good idea.
All right, I got a note. Thank you. Speak for the crowd.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
That's all you got? Anybody else?
I'll have like details at our regular meeting, you know, more like trainings, all that kind of stuff, and other project updates by this point then.
Great. Council? Anybody?
I do.
Go ahead.
I want to congratulate Cape Charles Main Street for the first Festive Fridays last week. That was just, from what we were out of town, but I just hear great things. And it is all volunteers. Tara well knows. And so if you have an opportunity to get down there, please make sure you thank people on the board and get those kudos out to them. They worked incredibly hard and will continue the next 3 weekends.
You know, and the weather helped out because the
Yes.
stores were packed.
Yes. And then last plug for the lighted golf cart parade is Saturday. It's the 11th year, which is just hard to believe that the first year Steve was a part of that. There was like 5 cars, six carts that sat at the at the east end of the park, and just kind of, because we weren't allowed to go in the park at that point. So it's gone from 6 to, we have 35 registered so far, and we normally get a 20 or so that just kind of show up and then we register on site. So I'll be posting a map of that, so if people want to watch before, but of course that leads into the grand illumination, which Pam is working, as well as Ralph and everybody, working very hard for. So hopefully see everybody.
All right. Clayton?
I just wanted to quickly state that I think I speak for all of us, that we are doing everything we can to involve the community in this harbor planning process. And I mean, we ask you every year, how can we best get messages and information to you? We put together this committee with stakeholders from every group we could think of in the town. I just don't want to really hear when it all comes back to us, oh, well, this is the first I'm hearing of this. Like, there are opportunities out there, whether they're virtual, whether you want to just talk to your friend who may be able to go, or just do whatever you can to be a part of the process and not criticize it after all the work goes into it. And I mean, I guess we're still open to hearing how we can do a better job of that, but that's where those conversations that we had a minute ago come from, is none of us want to get to the end, the finish line, and hear that back, because we're doing everything we can to make this not just us thinking about things, but trying to make it something we're all collectively addressing. So
Great, thank you.
If I
Go
could
ahead.
tag on a little bit with, first with Tammy on Festive Fridays. Be on the lookout for something possibly tomorrow, given the weather, whether there'll be any changes. I know the train will not be going up and down the street tomorrow. That part's been canceled. But there may be some other things that change.
And get moved inside or
Right.
different things like that.
Right. The following weekend, on the 12th, we've got Cookie Trail. So we've
13th. Isn't the cookie trail the 13th? That's when I'm expecting 700 people to show up at my house. If it's not, then I need to shift my dates, because we won't be ready on the 12th.
So 3 of our restaurants and 7 or 8 homes will be open. having both cookies, and the restaurants will also have signature cocktails available. We are asking folks to register, and that will be at the Almeida or the hotel. And please bring some food that we can help restock the food bank. So that's.
Or you can write a check as well, and they'll take that
Absolutely.
cat,
is
or give
always,
cash.
Cash is always welcome.
And
Yeah.
non-perishable, of
Yeah.
course.
Right.
What's the time frame for that? Okay.
2 to 5,
2 to 5?
2 to 5.
So,
I know when they're coming. I am ready.
So also going off what Tammy was saying earlier, I also want to thank just Main Street for the Festive Friday. It was unbelievable, even with the weather. Definitely the most crowded one I've seen since I've been here. Also want to thank Public Works. If you guys see them on the streets anywhere, please thank them. To keep those lights on is not easy right now, and they're constantly going around, changing fuses, clicking breakers, whatever they need to do, but it looks beautiful. And then also I want to give a shout out to Tara and Sailfest 250. It is going phenomenal.
Yes.
It's coming together really well. I'm sure you've seen the banner out there on 13.
Get your ornament.
But yeah, it's going to be a big deal in June. So spread the word, get as many people here as possible. It's closer than you think. So thank you so much. And on that,
We have brought back the townwide decorating, holiday home decorating contest. So folks who put in a lot of time to decorate their homes certainly should call in. They can either let Mark Usry know or Amy Buda know, and you would get on the judging list. And so that's.
deadline is.
Well, it's the 7th, I think.
7th.
But it could,
Let's-
yeah.
Yeah.
I just posted it.
Yeah.
Trying to get the word out because we feel there's more people have decorated, but
Right.
have not registered. And so
Yes.
please plug that as much as you can. Judging will be on the 12th.
And there are prizes, yes.
Yes.
Mark, you're only allowed to
And
register once.
they brought
So none
the
of you can win.
business. Cape Charles Main Street did the business community windows and stuff again this year, and people have really done an amazing job. First place went to E&O,
E&O.
second to Chuckletown, and third to Cowlicks. So
Kids' Choice.
really great job to
What are we
everybody.
gonna do tomorrow?
Oh, that's happy
Oh.
news.
And we're
Good
gonna
thing you said
We're gonna
it.
get a ton of snow.
Yes.
Get tons of
Tons
snow.
of snow tomorrow, yes.
I paid it today.
All right, so not hearing anything else, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.